Good morning. Welcome to the Richardson's Homeschool Live. Today's Tuesday, so I'm here again with another vlog. Going to talk about a few little bits and pieces today. The main one being obviously the school bill committee that I've been watching. I don't know if any of you had a chance to watch it. Didn't it go on? It was rather long. It said, it advertised it for starting, I think it was 3:15, something like that, or 3:45. So I switched it on for that time, and it had already been going since about 1:05. So its advertising was even out. But yeah, if I look a bit put off today, it's because I've got a different phone. I'll just tell you this first. I've got a different phone, and normally I'm looking at myself, but I can see myself looking now at myself, but somehow my eyes are over there. So I'm trying to look over here to talk to you, which is a bit off-putting really, because I'm not used to doing that. So if you wonder why I'm a bit dense sometimes, it's because I've got a bit confused where I'm looking. But anyway, all that out of the way. Yeah, like I was saying about the school bill, it is going through the House of Lords, but for the government it's not going so well. I watched it all day the other day. Which day was it? Last week, Wednesday. It followed on again yesterday, Monday. Now it's continuing again on Wednesday the 15th, but I think it's scheduled again for the 17th. So they have quite long sessions, and it's a long thing. But there's a lot to go through anyway, because it's not just homeschooling. A lot of it is about school. A lot of it is about they want to set up not just academies, because I think it was by 2030 they wanted to have all schools under an academy, but they're going beyond that. They're talking multi-academies. And it's quite good watching them in the House of Lords, because they're really nitpicking over everything. And they're saying they don't know why the government has even proposed this. There's no substance to it. They've just put ideas down that they want, but there's no real ethics behind it, how it will work, why it will work, and what they're even thinking of. And numerous times Lords have said, you know, what on earth are they thinking of? How do they think this will work? Yesterday, the one I watched was to do with religious schools. It seems like the government want to end them, really. I mean, they're not saying as much, but the lords or ladies are obviously reading between the lines, and they're nitpicking it, and they can see what it's saying and what it's not saying, which is what they're concerned about too. And it seems like they would rather do it, because they were arguing about most people haven't got faith in that anymore. They just pick the schools because they're nice schools to go to, or they're the closest to their home. So, you know, why call them faith schools? And this is the sort of thing that the Lords were picking up on and bringing out, and they were disagreeing with it. And in fact, they haven't got to the homeschool registers yet, but they've been pulling it all apart. Like I say, they've got as far as the religious schools yesterday, but most of it they're just wanting to send back to the government to re-amend and to state what their actual purpose is. They're giving a date. They're saying Wednesday. They want it thrown out on Wednesday and sending back to the government to redo, to say what they're actually talking about, how things are going to work, what they actually mean, what the game is basically, because a lot of them look stunned at some of the things they were reading. And they're saying they don't want it rushing through back to them by July. They're saying they want at least till the autumn for the government to go back over it and to, you know, really look at it and state what their actual purpose is, because they said it's a lot of writing with little purpose is what they call it. That's what a lot of them have been saying. They don't understand what the government actually are getting at, or how things are going to work. One thing that concerned me yesterday, well, the whole thing concerns me, and there's numerous lords and ladies brought out, was that the government want the overall control of all schools in the country. They don't want them, you know, at the moment, like your councils, you apply to your council for school places and things like that. They don't want them well, I don't know about involved, but they don't want them taking the overall control like they do at the minute. The government want to have the yes and no says on everything. They want to do it all. But there's one Lord brought out yesterday who is funding all of this. He says, have they even thought about the amount of work and people that they're going to need to do all of what they're proposing? Where's the money coming from for it? Where are the people coming from? So they were bringing this out, and they were saying it's totally not been thought through very well. So they're not very impressed with it. Like I say, we haven't got to the homeschooling bit yet, so I don't know what their views are on that, because they're just totally shredding the rest of it. So at the moment, if the Lords get their way, and if the bill doesn't go any further on Wednesday, if they do decide to send it back to the Parliament side, the government, if they send it back to them, they're asking that they look at it properly and not submit it back to the Lords until the autumn. So I don't know what's going to happen until Wednesday, get a clearer picture. But it seems so much like the government want to take over all schools. So this bill isn't just affecting homeschoolers, it's affecting everybody who has children, everybody who has got a child in this country at school. It's going to affect them. They briefly touched on special needs children and that, but they didn't say a lot to that because they just sort of boohooed what the government had wrote. It didn't make sense. They want them to redo it all. So not a lot was said on that at the moment. They were just saying, yesterday as I watched it, they were just saying, send it back to the government, send it back to them, for them to go over and to state what they actually want, what they actually mean, because this is just a list of things that has got no substance. So I don't know what will happen, but they're saying now Wednesday they want to see it go back. So we'll see what they say on Wednesday, if they go any further. Now, what I don't know is whether, if they send it back, they'll just send it all back, and whatever's left that they haven't scrutinised will get left till the autumn, or whether certain parts of it will carry on being scrutinised. I don't know, because it's one bill, so one would imagine that it'd all just go back and get redone. So then I'm thinking, well, if they haven't gone through it all and they send it back and the bits they've gone through and they get all redone, what about the rest of it that they haven't yet gone through, and they want to redo that? But by the sound of it, it sounds like they're wanting them to redo through the whole bill and make sense of it, because they were all saying it doesn't make sense. In fact, one of them yesterday in the House of Lords turned around and said this is the first time ever they've all agreed with anything and it's been negative on a bill that's come through. It's the first time they've all said this doesn't make sense, it's rubbish, we don't wish to put this through. We want it to go back. So they said it's the first time they've all agreed on something, and they all laughed at that. So, yeah, it doesn't look like there's going to be any changes anytime soon, because there's going to be a lot of to and fro first, I think, about it. I can't see any way on this planet that they're going to carry on Wednesday, Thursday and say, right, yeah, send it through, because they are not happy with it at all. They're not happy with it. Another big thing is, because like the government, they did bring out about the government saying that, well, they didn't say it, but what they've wrote is that they want to take over all of schooling and everything like that. They want to take over all the schools or the running of it, all these strict do's, don'ts, and you must abide by us type of things. The Lords were not happy with that at all, and they're saying there's no way you should be taking the power from the parents and taking it upon yourselves. And they are not happy with that. They've said that if that part of the bill is to go through, then parents should be involved in everything their children do. They should be told first about everything, and there should be boards like they have the boards now, parent boards and education boards now, but they want more parents on these boards to sit, not just parents from high up places who are likely to go with all the governors. Well, it is the governors, isn't it? Not like that. They want normal people, normal down-to-earth parents. I don't know what a down-to-earth parent is, but I'm trying to say, not the people who were the yes people, but the people who would stand there and shout the cause sort of thing. They want people like that on these boards to have a say what's happening with the school and speak for the children and other parents, you know. That because the government are proposing that all that goes, they don't want parents on boards of governors and things like that. I think they're probably even scrap boards of governors. That I don't know how they're doing it. This is what the Lords was saying, that where's this money coming from to fund all these proposals that you're wanting, and there's no mention of parents in it. So it's not looking good for the government bill at the minute. It is definitely going to have to be changed according to the Lords. They are going to be sending it back. So we'll watch on Wednesday to see how much further they go along with it, or if it just gets sent back. They're bound to debate a bit more, but they all are in favour of it going back. I didn't hear anybody say any different yesterday. They're all saying, you know, this can't go on much longer. It needs changing. So, you know, we'll see what happens now. See on Wednesday, see if they get to the school register bit for homeschool children on Wednesday. I don't know, because that was quite a bit down the list. And there's so many clauses in each itemised listing, you know, so it just takes forever to go through. So yeah, that's that at the moment. I'll watch it again on Wednesday and see what's happening with it, but I don't think it's going to go through just yet. It's looking like it's going to have to go back to the government to be redone and see what happens from there. So that's that. But I'll tell you something else, actually. They have a recess. They went off a recess. Well, why they recessed, another group of people were lobbying a bill that's proposed, and it was the food bill. And, you know, the government, they do all these things and they don't tell the people on the street. You get hints of things like through reading the newspapers. But I'm thinking I'm going to watch this regular, I think, to know what's going on with everything, because that's the only way. But yeah, they're trying to address the food bill and all these, doing modified foods and things like that to try and feed people, and all these big glass greenhouses to grow like lettuces and tomatoes through the winter. And the Lords are shaking their heads going, can't live on just tomatoes, there's more, got to be more to it than that. And they weren't even happy with the food bill. They were just all shaking their heads, and it's madness to watch. But I didn't see all of that bit, but I'm thinking, what are they doing over in the government side? What are they thinking? It's crazy, just crazy. But I think I'm going to start watching about the food and perhaps talk about that on my Garden Homestead channel, and because I'm thinking, because of the way they were talking about this, and I thought, well, why didn't the Prime Minister just stand up and say, let's teach everybody to grow food? But they'll never do that, will they? Because that doesn't make them money. They'll never do that. But I'm thinking people need to stand up more and, you know, educate people into growing things again and show that you can grow things again. And you can, even if you're just growing a bit of food, you know. I think it's important. The way things are going, it is important. Anyway, I'm going to leave the political side of everything. I thought, we'll spin round, have a look what Sean's doing today, shall we? So Sean, she's doing her schoolwork today. She's done a geography. She's been doing mixed tables tests. You have to excuse my chairs. I've got my chairs on the table because the dog keeps jumping on the table. So I'll put the chairs up when we've finished with it and just take down the bits where we're sitting. So yeah, she's been doing them. She's done 3 or 4 sheets of them. At the moment, as you can see, she's writing, well, is it a short story you're writing, Sean, or are you studying something?
You say they have to be short, but mine are like 6
I know, I'm always saying to her, make sure they're short. You've only got about 100 pages in your notebook. She writes and writes. So she's doing, I don't know, oops, let's see if we can just sort of zoom in a little bit. I don't know what we can see.
Yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, she's going to write that. We're reading her Opal Plumstead at the moment as well. And Sean will do some art again today. She likes drawing and things like that. Yeah, that's what Sean is doing. So that's what Sean's doing for today. I don't know if anybody had seen my little short the other day and seen the bunny rabbits, but as you can see from that, Sean's got 2 new rabbits. Their names are Marshmallow and Peanut. They were rescue bunnies from the pet shop. They call them adoptive bunnies, but you're actually rescuing in them because they'd been in there for a few months and they were getting a bit concerned about them, and one of the shop girls was saying that she was considering taking them home shortly to have herself. And when we went in to buy them, to acquire them, they all started clapping. They were really pleased. So I've got this awful feeling that when they've had them so long, if they can't sell them, they put them down the same as they do at the RSPCAs and things like that. I think they only have a certain length of time. By the reactions of the girls in the shop and the way one of the girls had said that she was considering taking them home, I mean, why would you say that unless they were coming close to a danger point, you know? So yeah, we've got them. So they are rescue bunnies, and we've got them both. They told us that they were just over a year old, and it turns out from the certificates they are 4 years old. But that's not a problem, we don't mind that. So 2 girls they are, they're really cute. Sian loves them, she loves rabbits. So yeah, that adds to everything else we've got. We've always had rabbits here and there, but we've got these 2 now. So yeah, that's that. I said I was going to show you my garden. Well, I filmed a bit, my front garden, to show you how the fruit was doing. I filmed a bit of that for my garden homestead last week. So I'm going to see if I can separate the front from the back and tag it on the end of this video, if you know what I mean. So you can see it at the end. I think that's all for now. Nothing special is happening other than I just wanted to come back and tell you how that bill was going, what was happening with it. There's nothing happening at the moment. So, like I say, I'll look again now Wednesday, tomorrow. And Sian's just doing a normal schoolwork and going to do some art. Thinking what she's been doing herself-led. I think she's been doing, I was going to say Antarctica. Where I got Atlantica from? Antarctica. She's been doing that for self-led work, and she's also been drawing. I did a lot of artwork and things like that. So yeah, and the weather's getting better now, so we'll perhaps go outdoors a bit and do a bit of outdoor homeschooling as well. So yeah, that's it for this week. Like I say, I'll try and tag on now a bit of the front garden. So if it's not there, you know I couldn't do it. I'm not technical. I have to ask Sian. But if it is there, we've managed to do it. So thank you for watching anyway, and take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.